Hey guys, Lenny here. We're back out in the shop. Thought I'd do a quick video tonight on shooting the stars and bars. I've got my paint masks already, cut out and applied, and I got them all taped off, and I got the paint out and ducking right now. It's about ready to go. So I'm gonna get everything set up, and we're gonna shoot the white here on the fuse. And I got the wing taped off too, so we'll do that next. All right, so I got everything mixed up. I'm using a Badger 350. It's pretty basic airbrush. I like this one because it's got the medium tip, so it blows more paint than my other airbrush. So it's good for doing these kind of bigger spots, sort of like this. So what I'm gonna do is the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shoot a real light coat, then let that sit for a few minutes. Then I'm gonna come back and put another little light coat on there. Just keep adding light coats because I've had it too much before and it'll bleed. So here's how it goes. So we'll just put on that little mist coat basically there, as you can see. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. You just want to kind of get it misted on there like that, then let it set for a few minutes, maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes or something, and then we'll come back and we'll put another coat on it. So I'll zoom back out. I'll be back here in 5 minutes and we'll put another one on there. So, yeah, what I thought I could show you guys would be the paint masks. So I used a friend of mine. We drew these up in AutoCAD and then cut them out with a laser cutter. And so this is the 72 that's going to be marked on the side. So there's the back part of that 72 is insignia red, and the center part of it's black. So we'll use these paint masks to tape that part off. And I'm not doing the numbers right now. I'm just doing the stars and bars. And I'll show you what I've got for those. So here's what they sort of look like. Got some junk on there. I got this. This is on shelf paper I got from Home Depot. It sticks reasonably well, but you got to kind of watch it. You got to kind of push it down and stuff. Make sure it stays. I might try something different next time, but this is what we use. Then you just peel off the outside part, and you get this. This is what it'll leave you that in the center. And you just put those different masks on there, and then you just paint over them. So the one that I have on there right now was the one that went right here. So we're getting the stars and bars. So. Okay, now I'm just gonna kind of make sure everybody's kind of stuck down here. You gotta be careful doing this. Like I said, I'm probably gonna try something different the next time I do this, but I've already gotten started with it, so I'm gonna stick with it for this one. But shelf paper doesn't really stick that great. We'll give it a try. This is our second light coat. So we'll let that dry for a few minutes, and we'll come back and we'll give it some more. This will be our third coat we're putting on. I'm going to start making it a little heavier now. You want to watch and make sure that you get it down in the cracks really good, because you'll see that you can kind of miss it, so you want to kind of get in those and kind of get different little angles to kind of get in there, and that'll help fill those in. So we'll keep letting it dry and come back again. Okay, we've got it all shot now, and I've started to take off some of the paper that I have it taped with. You can just see it kind of bubbles the paint mask a little bit. So I take this off. It's still, I've had a fan going on in the background here to kind of help dry it. It's a tack dry, I guess, but it's definitely still wet. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull off the mask and the paper, and then let it sit there. Maybe I may have to do some touch-up work. There's probably some overspray, but that's just kind of what I've been dealing with. But it's not bad, and it's pretty easy to fix up. So I'll just go ahead and take off the papers. Well, as you can see, if you look at this one kind of close, it's kind of messy, so I'm going to have to do some touch-up. I think taking them off, I think I took it off way too early, so I think I'm going to let them dry on this. When I do the wing, I'm going to let it dry a little bit longer and then go pull it off. So I thought I could take it off real soon like that, and it'd be easier to kind of clean up, but it's not. So I kind of messed up, but it'll, you know, like I said, it's pretty easy to fix. So here's the wing. I got it laid out too, pretty much the same as the on the fuse. So we're getting ready to shoot him. I'm just going to make sure everything is kind of tacked down before I shoot it. It will come up a little bit, but like I said, I'm not going to use shelf paper next time. I'm going to use something else that's got a little bit better adhesive. With tack cloth too. Make sure it's clean. Okay, we're going to do our white coat now. Alright, we'll let that dry. We'll let that dry, then we'll come back to it. Now, as you can see here, we got it. I put on that second coat, and it's still kind of, you can still see little spray marks and stuff on there. And that's just because I put on a light coat. We're just, you know, putting on multiple light coats is the way to go that I found. I'm using the Class Coat paint. So it's a two-part epoxy, plus I've thinned it as well. So I pretty much do it 1 to 1 to 1. It seems to work out pretty good, but we're gonna get ready to shoot another coat on this one, and we're gonna leave the stencil on there for maybe about a half an hour after I shoot the last coat of paint, and not take it off too soon like I did on the last one. So this one should come out a little bit better. It may still need a little touch-up work, but not as much as my other one. So okay. Alright, we'll let that dry. Okay, I got it all shot, and it's nice and consistent all the way through. And we're gonna let that dry for a little while, maybe probably about a half hour, and then we're gonna pull the mask. I'll show you what that looks like when I get done. Alright. Alright guys, we're back. We're gonna take the tape and the paint mask off now. It's been a couple of hours at least. I got some dinner with the wife, came back. So I think this is probably gonna be a video on how to do it and how not to do it. And that first one I did on my fuse was kind of how not to do it. But we'll fix that up. I'll go through how you fix it up in a little bit here. Go ahead and take these paint masks off. Yeah, it's definitely better to wait. it came out a lot better. There's still, some rough edges, as you'll see, but not as bad as the last one. And these will be easy to get these, sharpened up. So, get kind of a closer up view here. As you can see, there's some spots on there where we got a little bit of overspray, a little bit here. I don't know how the hell that got there, but we'll be able to. I'll show you how we can fix that up. But that's not too bad. I can live with that. So. We're definitely going to let that dry overnight before we start, kind of going back after it and fixing up the overspray. But that's it that'll be it for now. We got the stars on there, stars and bars are on there, and with a little bit of touch up, that it'll look just fine. So stay tuned. All right, guys, we're back out here at the shop. Just I got everything taped off so I can do my fixing of my overspray areas. Like right in here, and this one wasn't too bad. I mean, there's a little bit over here, some there. Right along here, I need to get that, we need to get that kind of tightened up, so we're going to do that, and I'll show you guys what it looks like after I get it all done. I got it over here. Then I'll head over here to the fuse, and I got it here. We need to clean up in this area a little bit, and on here, and this is pretty jagged looking, so that was... Taking that paint mask off too early was, a great example of what not to do. So, I still had a little bit of overspray on the wing, but even when I let it dry for a little longer, but still it was a little bit better. So it's one of those deals. So, all right, I'll show you how to paint it here in just a second. Okay, now we're gonna hit the fuse. When I start out shooting with this with the airbrush, I like to start shooting the first part of the paint on the tape. That way I can kind of see how much I'm getting out, and then I can kind of adjust that as I drag it along onto the part where I'm trying to reach. So it's kind of a little technique I kind of figured out. And that's it. Probably going to take longer to clean my airbrush than it is to touch it up, but that's good. I didn't have too much to do, so yeah, it's gonna dry out pretty well and it'll look good. Alright guys, we're back here in the shop, getting ready to spray some Class Coat Insignia Blue. This is my airbrush setup. I got it from Harbor Freight. It was cheap. It was like 80 bucks for the whole deal. I got the compressor, the cord, and everything. So this is what I'm using. And this one works a little bit better for this kind of stuff than the Badger, because this one has an adjustable air, the amount of air you can throw at it. So that this kind of helps keep it from getting out of control here. So we'll just start doing some little touch-ups here. And I think that'll about do it on this one. It'll dry out, and you won't see like the paint marks in there as much, like the airbrush marks. So it'll come out good. And plus I'm gonna weather this quite a bit too, so it'll work out okay. I think it's gonna be just fine. Hey guys, welcome out to the shop here. Just thought I'd kind of go over quickly like the paints I've been using and some of the gear that I've used to paint this plane. I've been using Class Coat paint, epoxy paint. It's two-part epoxy. It's one part is a catalyst, which is the satin catalyst here, number 463. And this is one of the paints that I've used. This is the aluminum. And I'll show you guys kind of a shot of the plane. You've probably already seen that already, but I'll do some more close-up shots of the plane. And these are the paints that I've been using. I've been mixing them 1 to 1 to 1 with also with their Class Coat reducer, and that's what they suggest using. This is the reducer 500. I think that's the only one they have, but so I've been using that. And some of the guys that I've seen doing this online were also just saying that they thin this stuff down, with one, like one part, so 1 to 1 to 1. And so I found that that's worked out real well. This is the Insignia Blue that I was using for the stars and bars that we were working on earlier today. So I've shot the big stuff with this Phoenix touch-up gun. I got this at a local like a paint store up here, and the guy suggested this, and this thing's worked out real well. It's taken me kind of since this is my first plane I've ever painted. It took me a minute to kind of used to how much paint you're supposed to put on and stuff. But once I kind of got the hang of it, this works real well. This was a good investment here. It's pretty easy to clean and pretty easy to operate. And then for airbrushes, I've just kind of got a basic Harbor Freight cheapo here. Let's see if I get a good shot of that. And that's what I've been using, the red one here. I use this Badger 350 for some of the kind of the bigger stuff, like the stars and bars. You know, that's something that you want to. This is the Badger 350 with the medium tip, so it kind of puts out a decent amount of paint, and that worked real well for the for the stars and bars and the insignia blue behind that. And for the other stuff, for smaller stuff where I want something with a little some air control, I use this one. This, like I said, I got this at Badger, not a Badger. This is just a Harbor Freight, like $80 airbrush combo. It came with the little compressor and the line for it, and so this has worked out pretty well too. So here are the airbrushes that I'm using. This one here was the one that I got from Harbor Freight. So that $80. It came with the little air compressor as well, and the line for it too, so that was pretty handy. And then I picked this one up later after the fact. This was a Badger 350 with the medium tip, and it's just some little cleaning brushes and stuff. But I found that medium tip worked real well when I was shooting the the blue for behind the stars and bars, and the white too. You just want to go easy with the white because it'll bleed on you if you don't do light coats. You kind of build them up like that. So yeah, what I thought I could show you guys would be the paint masks. So I used a friend of mine. We drew these up in AutoCAD and then cut them out with a laser cutter. And so this is the 72 that's going to be marked on the side. So there's the back part of that 72 is insignia red, and the center part of it's black. So we'll use these paint masks to tape that part up. And I'm not doing the numbers right now. I'm just doing the stars and bars. And I'll show you what I've got for those. So here's what they sort of look like. Got some junk on them here. I got this. This is on shelf paper I got from Home Depot. It sticks reasonably well, but you got to kind of watch it. You got to kind of push it down and stuff. Make sure it stays. I might try something different next time, but this is what we use. Then you just peel off the outside part, and you get this. And this is what it'll leave you that in the center. And you just put those different masks on there, and then you just paint over them. So the one that I have on there right now was the one that went right here. So we're getting the stars and bars. So I'll do kind of a quick walk around of my plane. This is the Top Flight 60 size P-51B Mustang. I'm copying off making a copy of the Ina the Macon Bell. And still got some more, as you can see here. I got my numbers kind of drawn out, and I got to get those. That'll be the next thing. I was doing the stars and bars first. We're getting that finished up. So once I get those finished, so the next thing, once that dries, we'll get over here and we'll start getting the 72 masked off. I'll probably try to do that tonight. I still have the canopy, masked off, but it's all been painted. And I got all my, you see, I got all my rivets on there. The rivets and done. I got all my, big Zeus fasteners here, and got the nose, painted so far too. So it's come out pretty well, and I really like this Class Coat paint. It's really worked good. So highly recommend it.